and welcome to Hardman Talks. I'm Larissa Adams from Hardman & Co. And today I am talking to Michael Adams, founder and managing director of Wet Group. Michael, hi, it's great to have you here. So we're here to talk about Wet Group, Water Enhancement Technology Group. Now, it's all really in the name, isn't it? So just help us understand how the company came about as a business in the first place, and briefly tell us what Wet Group does.
Well, as you said, in the name, WET, it's a Water Enhancement Technology Company, WET, and we have a diverse portfolio of offerings that came about over the last 6 years from our R&D, where we've commercialised our enhanced technology, which is innovative, where we actually work with water. Most water companies are just pumps and pipes. WET works with water itself, the H2O molecule. And what we found is that not only is it a fabulous product, it has properties that we believe can really resolve simple solutions. And from this, we were embarked on a journey to build what we now call the Natralysis process. This allowed us to alter the pH of the water and stabilize it at a very low total dissolved solid. I don't want to blind you with science, but what this allowed was a revolution in the water enhancement technology sense for the beverage business, because we actually created a sweet water. Now, a sweet water, yes, it's linked with the pH, means that you can add flavors to the water because it has a natural mineral alkaline base, and therefore the water doesn't attack the flavor. If the water is acidic, it attacks the flavor. In the beverage industry, all waters are acidic. They work with a reverse osmosis water, or they'll work with a clean spring water that tends to have a natural tendency to be acidic. By attacking the flavor, it means that when they want you to drink that flavor, they have to have sugar because they want to get it back to what they call the natural flavor taste. So put two and two together, a water that means that you will not attack the flavor means that you use less sugar, or in fact no sugar at all, it retains the flavor. So we approached the British government, the UK Innovate, and we said that we had believed that we had this simple solution. And the concern was, yes, most people can develop this in a laboratory. Can you produce it at 2,000 litres a minute? Can you produce it so it's production ready? Of course we can. That was our answer. And we embarked on what we believe was a fantastic journey, allowing us, with the use of grant funding, to develop the Natralysis process. And we first embarked on what was called the proof of concept, where we had to build a commercial system that could run at 100 litres a minute. And we successfully developed that and ran that in 2018 in an actual commercial bottling line in the Alps of northern Italy, where they were called Norda, where we produced lemon and limes, we produced red fruits, we produced all sorts of fantastic flavors, and no sugar, nothing at all, just basically a natural spring water with fantastic flavorings. And and we ended up winning the European Seal of Excellence, the Horizon 2020. So that was the journey.
So I think a really, really interesting one for us to know is, how did you start the company? How did this start?
Well, it started many years ago. I mean, when I say many years ago, I'm talking 30 years ago, over 30 years. Because I was lazy, seriously. I was a footballer. In my head, I was going to be a professional footballer. I was going to be the next, numero uno. So a company called Alcan gave me a job there, so I played in their works football team. And the job they gave me was effluent pre-treatment chemist for water treatment chemist. And my job was, and this is so true, my job was to pick up bags of lime, put them into the effluent tanks to bring the pH up to 7. And once it was 7, it then could be discarded. Being me and inquisitive and being lazy, and when I worked nights on a Saturday, I was signed for a team called Alliston in them days, and run by a manager called Gil Merrick, fantastic ex-England international goalkeeper. And I had to be on the coach at 11 o'clock the next morning ready to go off to play football. And they were paying me some decent wages then, but I had this job. And as you can see, I didn't play for the works team. I just went off and played for the semi-professional team. Of course, on the Friday night in the laboratory, I want to get my head down, turn the lights off, go to sleep, so I had to be up the next morning, 11 o'clock. Naughty, I know, shouldn't do that.
Classic.
But what I found was a way of keeping the pH up high without having to put heavy bags of lime in. And what I did is I realised that as it went through the swarf, on the one side of where they were cutting, the water was a higher pH. So me being mean and inquisitive, I drilled into the material to find out what was actually creating this exchange, this fantastic exchange. And yeah, it worked well. It meant that I only put 2 or 3 bags of lime in, did an hour's work, went to sleep. The same technology that I discovered could do that was part of the algorithm that allowed us to manipulate stabilized pH from all those years ago. So you could really say it was the mother of necessities. I wanted to get some sleep. I wanted to go and play football. And this was something I did. Who could imagine that actual little thing I was doing would be helping reduce sugar, preventing antibiotics, and preventing single-use plastic? Amazing. In elite sports, single-use plastic. In agriculture, antibiotics, and beverages, less sugar. So where there's a will, there's a way. And sometimes you might be lazy, and sometimes you might just be sharp and seize on the opportunity, which is, I woke up 30 years later and did seize on it. That's a true story.
Incredible. That incredible story. Thank you. I mean, that's really interesting. And you've already talked about Natralysis process or sort of the outcomes of what you get. You get this perfect pH, and it has all these benefits for, it's like a natural sweetener already. But tell us a bit more about the actual technology behind it and how you actually achieve that through the science behind it.
Well, without giving too much secrets away, because it's all based on IP and our know-how, we've got what we call natural IP blockers, where we've got patents that if somebody had to find out how we did it, in other words, the know-how, they'd have to get past the patents. Our know-how means that what we can do is, at a very fast, high level speed, we can actually convert pH technology. Now, we're messing around with isotopes that allows us to push the pH up higher and then lock it in. And it's all based on a scientific algorithm that we work with top universities to develop this technique. And it all came about then. The next generation was to simplify the technology so that the layman could understand it. Hence the reason why now you just push a button, and it's not electrolysis, it's not ionization, there's no wastewater. In fact, the only power required is flow of water. So it really is a non-waste, very low power product, and it's based on natural chemistry. So when you actually realize how we're converting and changing and enhancing the water, it really is a natural state of play, but scientifically plausible with what we're doing and proven now, and it works.
Yeah, brilliant. So can you give us a very brief high-level overview of the actual products themselves, and maybe just bring in some of the geographical elements of where these operations are based as well?
We've already attracted a client interest MOU signed from Singapore, and this is the pharmaceutical side because they see other great benefits of the water. We're already now what we call installing in US hydrations in America, the contract we've got with them, where they pay us by the literage, and US hydrations, they never look at any runs less than 15 million litres. We've already conversed with the top guys there, done trials, ticked all the boxes. And now what we've allowed other companies to do is look at our platform and elevate it to their own self-interest with the beverages that they want to bring out. And not only are we looking at other clients who will run literage, we've already produced award-winning waters our Natralysis process won the Global Bottled Water Award, Functional Water Award, in 2019, at the end of 2019. And that water is going to be picked up by a very, very big organization. Unfortunately, the pandemic put a halt to that, but they've now re-engaged with us, and we expect to go back into that area with them, where the functional water, this means just the water being a high pH, stable and mineral without flavors, is an attractive purchase for them. So US Hydrations, we believe that 4 or 5 clients of theirs, we should easily be hitting targets of 1 billion litres within 2 to 3 years and being paid litrage. The equipment always retains our assets. It always retains our assets. It's like they turn the tap on, they pay us for use. And that's what the Natralysis process is going to give beverage companies, and give them an area where they can bring out functional waters. And functional waters is the biggest growth in the industry. It's got the biggest CAGR, and it's conversion of functional waters. It's what the consumer wants. The consumer has had 2 years of looking at the internet and deciding what they want to buy. The to-go business market has taken a downturn. People are now realizing that they want the water to be more than just hydrated, more than just filtered. The enhanced water market is the growth market. It's a phenomenon, and we happen to be right here at the right time with the right product. So it's fantastic. We're already now being picked up in the UK, picked up in Ireland, so in Europe. We'll have Natralysis processes out there operating, bringing us an income in based on litrage, and we expect that to grow. We're already now being contacted by the Middle Eastern countries, because for them, sugar, diabetes, it's a big health concern. To have a company that can produce the water that takes the removal of sugar, it's fantastic for them. We are having very great interest from bottlers in the Middle East who are looking to install our technology. So globally, we will be in the Middle East. We will be in Europe. We are in Europe. We will be in the US. We are in the US. We've already run in the US. We ran successful before the pandemic. Bottles were on sale with our water. And they've come back to us. They're actually chasing us. And it's only the travel restrictions that's not allowed us to get out there. So for us, it's a fantastic, exciting time with the Natralysis process. And where we are Wet Holdings Global, we are global with the Natralysis process.
And what about GEMS and Pure Ionic? How do these separate products fit into it? How does that work together?
Well, the GEMS system is an essential part of the installation of our patents and our technology. The GEM can replace the reverse osmosis with the Natralysis process. So it can be placed before the Natralysis process. So the bottler doesn't have to use heavy, expensive reverse osmosis technology. The GEM can do that. But the market where the GEM really has it's the ball on the board, so to speak, in an agricultural sense, is the agricultural industry. We are already in conversations with a major distributor in the UK, which is perfect for us. And I don't think they'll mind the saying that they're called Mole Valley Farmers. They turn over 40 million per annum. And they've got a fantastic distribution network. And they want to use the GEM as their key focus for hitting the government's aim of cleaning water for animals. Why, you say? Why clean water? Water is the biggest villain for providing bacteria into animals. There, it triggers antibiotics. Antibiotics are the quick fix answer. These are going into the food chain. By making a simple swap of cleaning the water, preventing the bacteria, you prevent antibiotics. We've conducted trials at Bridgewater Agricultural College over the last few years, and we've had outstanding, fantastic results. In fact, you didn't have to do a laboratory test. You could see that the calves were bigger and fatter. They were healthier. Chickens, we've got the global patent on a closed loop system. So chickens will never again have to just have stagnated water in heated conditions, and their 30 days of life being total misery and full of bacteria. So they have to have high levels of antibiotics, we can replace all that with a closed loop system that means that it saves water, it creates a healthy drinking water with no bacteria, and this is all controlled by the gem. The gem also provides water for mixing with the milk for the calves. So the gem becomes the water board for agriculture. It is a fantastic system that needs little plumbers. And let me tell you, farmers hate paying other people to do work they believe they can do themselves. This is just a drop-in, plug and play. Like the Natralysis process, our engineering is about simplicity, about making everything simple. The gem is just a drop, plug and play. It does the job. It does what it delivers. It is a fantastic system, and it's enhancing it's cleaning and enhancing. It's doing both sides. And we base this technology on the fact that we having the history with elite sports. Our history goes back to 2004. We were working with top Premier League football clubs. The first club being Bolton Wanderers by a manager, Sam Allardyce, who'd come back from America and Southeast Asia and realised that water was a key focus for nutrients and everything. We got there, we spoke, we supplied the water, and within about a few years, we became one of the top unknown suppliers of enhanced water to teams such as Manchester City, Chelsea, Leicester City. Champions, all champions. In fact, the nickname the water's got, Puranic water, is the choice of champions. And it seems that whoever drinks this water ends up winning things. The British Snow and Ski Board, they'd never won any medals. Paddy Mortimer, who's our director of elite sports, performance director. He was the head coach at British Team GB, British Snow and Ski. Took our water, they drank the water, they started winning medals. Not going to say that it's down to our water. What we do is we enhance performance. We give that little 1% because with the Puranic water, it has to be clean, it has to be pure. Ionic means it's minerals, not ionized, it means it's minerals, and it's water. We're removing the estrogens, the biggest bugbear for any elite sports person, because it zaps the strength. There's a report called the Pink Report. It's about the feminine compound of estrogens going into the water. With the Puranic systems, we remove estrogens. We're removing all the dissolved solids, the nasties, and then we're enhancing it with the correct balance of minerals. So for sports, elite sports, it was a fantastic performance water. It was the best kept secret. We've never really championed the water to the public because that was never in our remit. We're strictly a business to business. But it doesn't mean that we can't do business with Manchester United, Manchester City, Everton, Liverpool, Chelsea, and let them provide Puranic water to their fans. And that's exactly what Puranic water is doing. And we're not selling the systems. We're actually going to rent them for £1 a day. And they're going to be branded in the club's colours. They're going to go out to basically to season ticket holders, academy players. We're getting a fantastic response for that. And we're hoping that will launch successfully in 2022. It should have launched in 2020, but unfortunately, again, the pandemic put a stop on that. And they're chasing us for the product. But in realistic, your chicken, your cow, your multi-million-pound footballer are all drinking the same water. And that's what really is happening.
Yeah, I think it's incredible the amount of industries that you can sort of plug your technology into, and it goes across the board. So it's infinite, the amount of opportunities that you've got on your plate, and it's about prioritizing which ones are the most viable at this point. Okay, so lastly, for investors interested in Wet Group, let's just finish off by talking about capital. So since incorporation in 2014, Wet's raised over 10 million of investment funds, and then a further million from the board of directors at a later stage. And now you're looking to raise 1.5 million within the next few months. So let's just talk us through that. Talk a little bit about the capital raise.
Well, basically what we've done is we've looked at our target markets, and we realized that we've just had 18 months of very inaction. And we were in a very healthy position at the end of 2019, going into 2020, until we was hit by the pandemic. We took all the best action that we could to protect the company so that we would come out the other end of the pandemic, and fingers crossed we are coming to some control. We might not be coming out of it, but to some control so business can move forward. We looked at that and we thought, right, what do we need as a company to see us through to the commercialization that we believe will be successful to take us forward? And we thought, well, our last fundraise which was the last of what we call the fundraisers to round it up to the 10 million. You've got to remember, it was only 7.5 million of investment funds. The other 2.5 million come from grants or very low key early adopters who paid us for the trials. For instance, we're dealing with Asahi Beer, very big organization, Japanese. They own a lot of multi companies that are in the brewery industry. They're trying a gem. They're paying us for it. They're paying us. It's not freebie. They're paying us for it. When we did the Natralysis process, we produced 100,000 litres of the water. They paid us $37,500 for just 100,000 litres of water. So we've also had that contribution to the 10 million figure. So as an investment, it's 7.5 million. The rest was grants and small income from early adopters. And we believe that taking us forward to the next level, we're going to give investors the opportunity to join us and invest. We're looking for 1.5 million. And that's what we're doing. And we see a third of that going to the Natralysis processes that we're going to be putting in the US. We've got already equipment there, but we want to build special ones that can ramp up the volume so that we can hit the 1 billion litres. So that's what we see a necessity. We're looking at a third to support the agricultural market and a third to support the elite sports market. So what we've done is, even though we've said 1.5 billion, we've strategically looked and said, we feed that into those three areas, this income will come back to us. So what we decided to do was we'll release the last capital, and then from that, we know that it will be revenue. There'll be revenue investment that will allow us to grow past and up to, because we see over the next 3 or 4 years, our investment into the business is going to be less than 5 million. But the 1.5 million will from investors, and the rest will either be asset finance, banking industries, institutions that comes in and supports us because of business. So we see this very small amount of money has taken us to the market. And remember, we've already started breaking into these markets now anyway because of demand. We haven't advertised. We don't spend any money on marketing. I mean, you're interviewing me now. I'm at the Monaco Yacht Show, where we're the official water supplier to the marine industry, and they all want to drink our water in supporting Monaco's ridding single-use plastic. They're paying us to be here. It's a fantastic marketing dream. The name of the company's out there. We're meeting high-level contacts, potential investors. I mean, you have to have a few quid to buy a super yacht. And we're here. It's costing us nothing. So we see our marketing and advertising budget as the water can pay for that. So we see the way that our approach is that we see the investment to take us to commercialization, concentrated on commercialization, fit in a few more key people to help that rapid response team and to help us to administrate the returns that we believe we're going to get.
Right. No, very, very interesting. Thanks so much, Michael, for just spending the time. And it's been really insightful, if not definitely educational on many levels. And it's been great having you on Hardman Talks. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Larissa. And thank you again for taking an interest in WET. You'll soon be drinking the water yourself.
Perfect. So to our viewers, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your time. Please do share your comments below and hit that like button. Otherwise, we'll see you back here on Hardman Talks next time. Thanks so much.